Welcome to our video titled, New Tariffs on Mexico Could Impact Flights, Hotels, and All-Inclusive Resorts. In this in-depth analysis, we'll explore the recent implementation of tariffs and how they may affect the travel industry, particularly flight costs, hotel accommodations, and the popular all-inclusive resort experience. As we unpack the broad implications for tourism demand and the economic landscape in Mexico, we'll also discuss potential government responses and shifts in consumer behavior. Join us as we navigate through these critical topics and their long-term consequences for travelers and the industry alike. 1. Overview of new tariffs. The United States has introduced new tariffs on imports from Mexico, sparking immediate concern within the travel and tourism industry. These tariffs aim to address the U.S. trade deficit and encourage more domestic manufacturing, but the ripple effects are reaching far beyond factories. For travelers, this move could mean higher prices on everything from flights to hotel stays. Airlines, hotels, and resorts operating in Mexico often rely on imported goods and services, many of which are now subject to these higher import taxes. Industry leaders are already voicing fears about how these extra costs will be passed on to tourists. The sudden policy shift is creating uncertainty for businesses and travelers alike, with many waiting anxiously to see just how deep the impact will go. The story is still unfolding, but warning signs are clear. Traveling to Mexico may soon become a lot more expensive. 2. Impact on flight costs. Airlines flying to Mexico are likely to feel the pinch first. Many rely heavily on imported aircraft parts and jet fuel, both of which are now subject to the new tariffs. The increased expenses could force airlines to raise ticket prices, making trips to Mexico less affordable for everyday travelers. Recent estimates from industry analysts suggest that flight costs may jump by 10–15% if airlines decide to pass these costs directly to consumers. Such an increase could mean hundreds of dollars more for families planning vacations. Some airlines might even reduce the number of flights to Mexico, which would limit options and potentially lead to even higher prices due to reduced competition. The overall effect could be a sharp decline in air travel demand to Mexico. For travelers who have grown used to budget-friendly flights, this development is nothing short of shocking. 3. Hotel and accommodation prices. Hotels and resorts in Mexico are bracing themselves for a new wave of financial challenges. Many hotel operators depend on imported furniture, linens, and amenities to maintain the high standards tourists expect. With tariffs driving up the cost of these goods, hotels may have no choice but to hike their room rates. Surveys of leading hotels in Cancun and Cabo San Lucas have already revealed plans for price increases in the range of 5–10%. For travelers, this could be the difference between booking a luxury stay or settling for a less desirable alternative. Hotel managers warn that the added costs might also reduce their ability to offer special discounts or packages. Guests used to all the little perks of Mexican hospitality could soon find those extras going away. This shift in pricing could scare off budget-conscious tourists and alter vacation plans for thousands of families. 4. All-inclusive resorts. A special case. All-inclusive resorts are particularly vulnerable because their business relies on offering guests a comprehensive package. These resorts import large volumes of food, beverages, and other goods, all of which now come with a higher price tag due to tariffs. The Mexican Association of Hotels and Motels has warned that package prices could rise by as much as 15%. For American tourists, who make up a huge portion of the industry's business, this could mean rethinking their annual trips. There is already evidence that bookings are slowing down, with a projected 20% drop in reservations if package price hikes go into effect. Resort managers are worried that travelers will start seeking deals in destinations like the Caribbean or Central America, where prices remain stable. The sudden financial pressure may also force resorts to cut back on entertainment and amenities, reducing the overall value of an all-inclusive vacation. For many, the all-inclusive dream may no longer fit the budget. 5. Effects on tourism demand. Travel demand for Mexico has historically been strong, driven by affordable flights, attractive hotels, and the promise of sun-soaked beaches. However, The combination of higher transportation and accommodation costs could dampen this demand quickly. According to a report from the World Tourism Organization, even small increases in travel expenses can have a significant impact on consumer behavior, causing would-be tourists to look elsewhere. There's a real risk that popular Mexican destinations could see fewer international visitors in the coming months. This change won't just affect hotels and airlines. Tour guides, excursion operators, and small businesses that thrive on tourism dollars are also at risk. The domino effect could be felt across the entire country, particularly in regions that depend heavily on vacationers. If travel becomes less affordable, Mexico's tourism sector could face its most challenging season in years. 6. Economic consequences for Mexico. Tourism is a cornerstone of Mexico's economy, contributing about 8.7% to the national GDP and supporting millions of jobs. When tourism numbers drop, the impact ripples through communities, affecting everyone from hotel workers to taxi drivers. Economic analysts have predicted that a 10% fall in tourism could lead to the loss of over 100,000 jobs in the industry. The effects could be even more severe in tourist hotspots like Cancun, Playa del Carmen, and Puerto Vallarta, where local economies are built almost entirely around serving international guests. If tourists start choosing other destinations, businesses may close, and unemployment could rise sharply. This scenario would not just be an economic issue, it could also create social challenges as families struggle to replace lost income. The government and local leaders are watching these developments with growing concern. 7. Potential responses from the Mexican government. Faced with these economic threats, the Mexican government is scrambling to respond. There have been calls for new promotional campaigns to attract visitors, especially from markets less affected by the tariffs. Officials from Mexico's Secretary of Tourism have stated they are exploring ways to keep the country competitive, even as costs rise. Negotiations with the United States are ongoing, with hopes of finding ways to reduce or offset the tariffs. There is also talk of offering incentives to airlines and hotel chains to keep prices as low as possible. Some regions are considering tax breaks or subsidies for tourism-related businesses. The government's response could play a critical role in determining how well the industry weathers this storm. The coming months will be crucial as new policies are rolled out and their effectiveness is tested. 8. Consumer sentiment and travel trends. Travelers are already reacting to news of rising costs. Social media and travel forums are filled with worried comments and questions about the future affordability of Mexican vacations. Travel agencies report that some customers are postponing trips or switching to destinations like the Dominican Republic or Costa Rica, where prices are not impacted by tariffs. There is a growing sense of caution among tourists, many of whom are opting for domestic vacations in the United States or Canada instead. Industry insiders are watching booking patterns closely and have noticed a shift in demand away from Mexico's most popular spots. This change in sentiment could reshape travel trends for years to come, leaving Mexico fighting to regain its place among the world's top tourist destinations. 9. Long-term implications for the travel industry. If the tariffs remain in place for an extended period, the travel industry could see long-lasting changes. Airlines might have to permanently adjust their schedules or reduce the number of flights to Mexico. Hotel chains could be forced to reconsider new investments or expansion plans in the region. Smaller businesses, unable to absorb higher costs, may be pushed out of the market entirely. These changes could alter the landscape of Mexican tourism, making it less accessible for the average traveler. Industry experts warn that the longer the tariffs last, the harder it will be for the sector to bounce back. The focus may shift to attracting wealthier tourists who can afford higher prices, leaving traditional family vacations behind. The true cost of these new tariffs may be felt for years to come. 10. Regional differences in impact. Not all parts of Mexico will feel the impact of tariffs equally. Major tourist hubs like Cancun and Los Cabos, which rely heavily on American tourists and imported goods, may experience the most severe consequences. Smaller, less developed destinations might fare better, especially if they can source more goods locally and attract regional visitors. Some regions are already working to diversify their tourism offerings, focusing on eco-tourism or cultural experiences that rely less on imports. This regional variation could lead to a reshaping of Mexico's tourism map, with some areas thriving while others struggle. Local governments are looking for creative solutions, like promoting local crafts or farm-to-table dining, to reduce dependence on imported products. The coming year will reveal which regions are best able to adapt to the new reality. 11. Possible shifts in traveler behavior. As costs rise, travelers may begin to look for new ways to save money. Some may shorten their trips, choosing a long weekend instead of a week-long stay. Others might opt for more basic accommodations or limit the number of activities they book. There could be a greater emphasis on value, with tourists searching for the best deals and avoiding extras that used to be standard. Group travel, where families or friends split costs, could become more popular. Travel habits are notoriously hard to change, but when prices go up significantly, even the most loyal visitors may reconsider their plans. The industry will need to watch these shifts closely and adjust marketing strategies to meet new preferences. 12. Industry adaptations and innovation. In the face of these challenges, businesses are already searching for innovative ways to survive. Some hotels are exploring partnerships with local suppliers to reduce reliance on imported goods. Airlines are looking at more fuel-efficient planes and streamlined routes to cut costs. All-inclusive resorts may introduce tiered pricing, allowing guests to pick and choose which amenities they want. Technology could also play a role, with more companies using apps and digital platforms to offer discounts or personalized deals. The industry's ability to adapt quickly will determine how well it weathers the storm. Creativity and flexibility are likely to become the most valuable assets in this new era.